And here we are early on Saturday morning, 8:30 in the morning, outside Jane's Silent Bob's Secret Stash. Already a lot of people are lined up, and we're lucky because it's nice and sunny out. It's supposed to be all crappy and rainy today. This is lovely downtown Redmond.
There's Jay.
Zillions of people
Jay.
here.
Jay.
Oh, he's gone.
Which one?
What? That's Brian. That's more of the people hanging out still outside of the stash. That's group one. They get to hang out in the stash while we're out. Just across the street from Jack's Music Shop. Look at that. Amazing. And there's the Starbucks, because every town has a Starbucks.
Where's Dante?
There you go.
Morning!
Hello.
Welcome to the wonderful Clerks, View Askew Universe reality tour. Who needs Kramer? Fuck Kramer. Now, I don't care what they say about New Jersey bus drivers. They're the best drivers in the world, huh? At least for today. Oh, VCR.
That's right, it's on TV.
Well, for those who don't know me, raise your hand. We're not going to Atlantic City, and if you're thinking that, you're on the wrong bus. Although, to tell you the truth, we do have something in common. Both this bus and that bus are a gamble. This tour could be a winner, could be a loser. But we'll all make it a winning tour today, huh? How the fuck did I get this job? Supposed to be doing movies, damn it. Well, next step is the Hollywood tour. Okay, over here is the Hollywood Bowl, okay? Over here is Man's Chinese Theater, okay? All right, a few minutes once we get on Front Street here in lovely Red Bank. How many people are here from New Jersey? Woo! All right. All right, who's the furthest away? Anybody like West Coast over here? Good, fuck those West Coast people. All right, coming further from the West, what do we got? Do we have anybody like Utah, Oregon? Are you going to be insulted that I'm using the word fuck a lot? No! Where you from, buddy?
Ontario.
Canada, wow. Let's have a warm welcome to our friends from the North. Yeah, baby. That's where Kevin got his film career started up there. Lovely Vancouver, not Ontario, but lovely Canada, and the Vancouver Film School. So he's a great testament to that school, huh? Actually, it was that school's half of his tuition to that school that paid for Clerks after he dropped out. He's like, I'm going to take this money and I'm going to put it towards this script, along with the 7 fraudulent obtained credit cards, a little nor'easter that flooded the Atlantic Highlands, which is the low end of the coast over here. The coast, like this is like some type of holiday spot. he had 2 cars up on cinder blocks that got flooded into like the whole town. They got washed away literally out into the ocean. And the good old FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Association, or whatever the hell it's called, gave him a wonderful check for I think about $3 grand. So that also went to Clerks. Thus started the wonderful career of his film career, whatever. just passed the hospital back there. That's where Kevin was born. Yeah. And soon he'll have his own daughter born there soon. He's expecting a little daughter. Let's give it a round of applause for that, huh? And God's punishing him. They're giving him a daughter. Now he'll really worry. Well, we're on Front Street, turns into like something. I don't know what this road turns into, but eventually we're going to come up to Victory Park, where they shot in Chasing Amy the scene between Holden and what's her name? That's her. About the whole, you know. There you go. I knew somebody would say it.
You better watch it.
And that's also a part where we shot a few of the scenes for Vulgar. The director-writer stepping in front of me here, Brian Johnson. I told you, Brian, your brother was going to be a pain. Anyway, Vulgar, hopefully, they're literally finishing up the sound work on it now. It looks incredible. It's dark as hell, but it looks really, really incredible. Scott Mosher himself is working on it. Yesterday, he showed me some scenes from it. It looks very disturbing. Okay, so we had the people from the north. Where else are people from here? The other states. Come on, shut them out. Kentucky. Wow. So, how do you like the northeast here? We're expecting snow in a few minutes. Now, I don't want to hear any jokes back there about Kentucky. See you guys murmuring. All right, come on. New Yorkers. New Hampshire. Lovely. I shot a film 2 Januaries up in Vermont. Not New Hampshire, but Vermont. It's all the same once you get past Connecticut anyway. Except for Boston, of course. Yeah, we got some Boston up there. Bring any chowder with you? Did you make sure you popped your collar over in Harvard Yard? We're passing through Fairhaven, folks, where I think you have to show your federal tax return to see if you can qualify to live in this town. They're extremely snooty. And wait until they find out that we've shot in their wonderful little town a very vulgar film, literally. Yeah, we just passed a park where there was a scene cut out of Chasing Amy, so you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But it's nice to know that we do shoots on locations and never get used. See, Brian is the one who actually is giving me facts of like real genius. Yesterday, me, Brian Johnson, Kevin Smith, we were in Brian's car. We actually said, all right, let's drive the route and see what we're going to do here. And we're going around, and they were talking more about people's fat asses. Like, just on the street. Like, oh my God, did you see that fat ass that just went by? Or, you know, just like, oh my God, I know that girl. Didn't your brother do her? And I was like, guys, what do you want to say about the tour? Oh, right, the tour. I don't know, just start talking about people's fat asses. I was like, all right, Kev, that'll last for like 5 minutes until anybody who's on the bus starts going, hey, stop making fun of me. The next thing I know, I'm being mobbed. By the way, there's 5 people who missed the bus tonight, this first ride, so let's give a round of applause for those suckers. Brian's like, what do you think I should do? Should I wait 5 minutes? I'm like, wait. How many people are on the bus? Like about 50-something? We're waiting for 5? Dude, you tell them literally, you missed the bus. Maybe put you on the next bus ride. Don't worry about it. So relax. Sure. At least he admits it.
Yeah, they're always hanging out.
Soon we'll be coming up to Victory Park, like I said, which is the scene that we shot Chasing Amy at. We also shot some Vulgar scenes, which you'll be seeing. Hopefully, that'll be going to Telluride Film Festival, which is like end of summer or midsummer, something like that. Well, let's hope we can make this turn here, because it's a really narrow street. But we trust Mike, right, everybody?
Oh, you gotta.
Yeah, we're gonna be disembarking. Yeah. Okay, here it is, right here. This wonderful little bar with the tennis court right in the middle of it. Honey, we need to have a tennis court in the middle of the park. I need to play somewhere, don't I? Yeah, they're so like old that there's only 2 courts. Normally, like a rich town that would have courts like this, it's mob, many people lining up to use it. But it's rarely used when I come by here in the summertime. Like you see one guy trying to get his groove on with some like secretary. Come on, baby, hit it.
Right, Dante, shut the fuck up.
I think that's my signal to say, everybody, now don't forget your things, even though we're coming right back. Just come on out and enjoy this wonderful, crisp, cool air.
All right, you fucking kids, this is the tour. We're gonna see this, 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 and this. Enjoy the ride. Everybody got a light? Brian Johnson, come here. Why don't you give the fine folks here a little snippet into Vulgar real quick? The synopsis, just real briefly, like within like 5 seconds. Speak up.
Dad and 2 sons, rape bride.
It's funny. A young guy who does like party clowning for like kids' parties and stuff, but he ain't cutting it. He ain't making the money and stuff. So because his mother's in a nursing home, the nursing home's getting on him to pay the bills and stuff. So he gets his brainchild to become this party clown for like bachelor parties and stuff, where he dresses up pretty much in drag and fishnet stockings and all this. And it's like a gag gift that a stag party would give to the groom, saying, all right, we're going to bring in the stripper now, and it's this guy, the clown, dressed, So he gets the idea, he calls himself Vulgar, puts an ad in the paper, he gets a response to the ad. He gets to this really seedy part of town, to his first gig, and he knocks on the door. As soon as he walks in the door, he's belted like with a bottle and stuff. He pretty much gets raped, okay, by a father and 2 sons, no less. A plumbing company, no less. Twisted mind. I literally had to put down the script when I first read it. And everybody who I talked to did the same thing, like, because the first cut of it was extremely graphic. Anyway, to save that whole thing, after that, he totally loses his mind. I flip out, I trash my rooming house room, and eventually what happens is I have one more gig. It's the next day, and so I get dressed and get ready to go over to it. And it's this party that's a little girl's birthday party, but the despondent father who is in the fight of a divorce decides to take the kid hostage. So there's a hostage situation going on with SWAT team and everything. I pretty much break through the secured perimeter because New Jersey cops are just so good. And I'm able to get into the back door and literally come in like the work shed. If anybody saw Evil Dead, you'll know that line, work shed. I go to the work shed, get myself a sledgehammer pretty much, climb in through the window and through the house, and I see the guy at the front door with the girl, and I rush him out the door, become a national hero. It's caught on film. The media takes Flappy the Clown and makes him a big hero. A year later goes by. He's extremely successful. He gets a phone call at his mansion pretty much going, hey, fuckface, remember me? And it's the guy and his son's trying to blackmail me with this videotape. They said they videotaped the whole thing. So anyway, so me and the young Brian Johnson, who plays my best friend, Sid, we decided to have a plan to take over, to get these guys killed or whatnot. And at the end, I'm not going to tell you what happens at the end, but a plan happens. Needless to say, we did a party scene here for still shots, where we used that. We had like 12 kids, and we used that as like the party tent, whatever. And then there's a classic shot. There's a bathroom right behind this basketball thing. And it was hysterical. Brian said, I got it. Why don't you pretend you're in the bathroom and these kids are opening the door, laughing at you, pointing at me, going, look at him, he's taking a piss. And I was like, you are so twisted. Needless to say, this is the park we shot it in. Those were the swings where Holden and Alyssa had the speech. Come on, closer. About fisting and all the lovely other topics. How old are you, son?
23, Father.
Huh?
23.
23? That's what I thought. Buy me a beer later on, all right?
All right.
And this is wonderful Rumson on the other side of the Navasink River, is this, Bry? Bry?
You still with us?
Anyway, the river. Navasink River. So right across there, we have Geraldo, Maury Povich's mansion. John Bon Jovi just remodeled his beautiful fat pad. He actually donated a song when there was going to be a soundtrack to Chasing Amy, which never happened. And then he, like Indian Giver, took it right back from us. Glad you have that all on tape. Anyway, because his solo album was coming out and it did so well that he needed the song. Needless to say, history spoke for the rest of it. So this is the wonderful park that they shot these wonderful scenes in the beautiful, rich area of Fairhaven. And Rumson is across, actually that way. I believe that is Navasink area. But it's also a wonderful area. Bruce Springsteen doesn't live far from here, and all those great Jersey celebrities. So, this is the park. That's all I got to say about this. Any questions? Good. Back on the bus. We have two more off stops. Or get off. One way or another, get off.
After my blood thickens again. Okay, the next stop we're going to be going to is the exterior of Dante's house.
Really? Oh, that's fine.
The actual, while we're on our way, it's about a 5-minute drive.
Did you say anything else?
While we're on the way,
No,
the
but you thought,
interior
no,
of actually the Dante house was when I lived in wonderful New Brunswick, New Jersey, home of Rutgers University. When I lived there with a whole bunch of roommates and stuff, we rented a house and
Yeah, I guess it's pretty good.
utterly trashed it.
Really, he's just hanging out.
And I found out that later on, after we moved out and we moved all the furniture, that I like took like 4 things that were the landlord's, like the dining room table, a couple of desks. I thought my roommates just abandoned them, and I was just like, ah, cool, score.
Okay, look at
And then later on, I found out that, oh, dude, that was your landlord's. It was like, not anymore. Anyway, while we were there, we went up to New Brunswick to film that. We were up there for about, I'd say, a couple of hours of filming. And Kim Flanagan, if you got, is that her name? No. What's Kim's last name? Logren, excuse me, that's Walt Flanagan. They're not married, don't worry. Kim Lachlan had a dog, Haiku. That was the dog in the beginning who was sleeping on my clothes and eventually started drinking out of the toilet and all that, which was totally improv on his part. I was like, great call, excellent. I like your choices. Anyway, while we were filming that, while we were in between different takes, I think from the bedroom scene, which that actually was the condition of my room, I literally did just throw my clothes around. You know, you're guys living all in one house. Who do you have to impress? Plus, it's not like I was getting paid. But enough of that. Anyway, while we were filming and Haiku was getting real stage fright, he decided to evacuate his glands, so to speak. He decided to take this huge steaming dump in the middle of my living room on the lovely landlord's rug. And I was like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Am I your stupid dog? So you thought the humiliation would be over and stuff. I was like, get the fucking dog out of my house. Time to the back of the fence or something. And then we were all done with the scene and I'm ready to leave. I pick up my jacket and it was fucking soaked with his piss. Like, what does this dog have against me? I mean, doesn't anybody want these animals? I'm calling the ASPCA here. So the interior of, see, it was funny because there was different interiors, like the actual house that we're going to, Ed Hapsack, who actually was the long-haired Gatorade drinking hockey player. Sanford, there you go. Good you along, buddy. Because last night I'm thinking, oh God, we're gonna watch the film to start remembering character names again. I didn't have time, so I was like, somebody will be like a trivia mania. I'll be like, all right, who knows the most about the trivia? I do. Good, you're giving the tour here. Sanford, this is his house that we're going to. With the kitchen part, where I actually mix the chocolate milk into the cow's or pig's head, drink out of the pig's head in the beginning. That's the kitchen part is his house that we're going to. But the bathroom and the bedroom was done in my place up in New Brunswick. And I never even knew why we did that. I think it was afterwards that they figured, you know what, we have to have a morning kitchen breakfast scene, so let's do it down here. Because it was an afterthought. But the house is still owned by Ed's parents, which I don't think they've been informed that there'll be 6 buses all day stopping by his house. They'll be thinking like, Ed, were you busted or something? Honey, what's going on in there? We also had a scene in the beginning of this house where, I don't know if you ever noticed in the beginning when I walk out of the house, there was a motorcycle out front of the scene. Well, when you see it ever again. There was a motorcycle in the driveway as well as the car that I drove. We had planned in the beginning, like, wouldn't it be funny if Dante walked out, stopped at the motorcycle, like, he's so fucking cool, he owns a motorcycle, but then reaches into his pocket, gets out keys, walks further, and goes over to the shitmobile. It was funny at the time. The other funny part was then what they had planned. Did we shoot that? Oh, Brian wasn't there. Never mind. I think what we then shot was Ed's mom actually coming out with a helmet and getting on the motorcycle. But in the constraints of trying to get the film as short as possible, because there was just so much extra footage, which if you get the Laserdisc or if it eventually gets the DVD, they have it on there. They cut it out, and I thought it was really fun. I was like, wow, why'd you cut that out? They were like, it wasn't that funny. And you're the actor, go back to bed. Now we're driving through the wonderful Navesink area. We had crossed the Navesink Bridge into Navesink here. And houses here this is pretty much a middle class, upper class neighborhood. And was this the famous red store where you bought drinks before? This was part of the tour that we did yesterday. We're like, in this red store, which you'll see on the right side here, we're like, I bought drinks here before, and Tim Barai's like, didn't you fuck so-and-so who used to work here? And Kev's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm telling you, Kev, this is the tour to tell. Because then they would be passing people's houses like, isn't that Jimmy the Cripple's house? Wasn't that fucked up? What happened to him? And they were like, they'll be laughing, but they won't know what the hell you're talking about. But yeah, but it's a funny topic, Jimmy the Cripple. Now we'll be approaching wonderful highway Route 36. This is a highway that skirts the Jersey Shore all the way down. It starts in wonderful Hazlitt, New Jersey, and drives all the way across along the coast. That was the other thing. I was like, how am I going to fill some of these gaps? I was like, I don't know. Do the tour of New Jersey. I'm like, lovely. Am I getting paid by Governor Whitman on this? Or as the former Governor Kane used to say, Jersey and you, perfect together. He has this real deep, like, Bostonian type accent. Nothing against Boston back there. Loved it. It's on my top 5 towns of the country. There, San Francisco, Los Angeles in a certain way, but not really. We're actually going to also, like about a week ago, a friend of mine owns a roofing business, and he was stuck for people, and I wasn't doing something a couple of days, and he was like, I need help roofing. Have you done roofing before? Which I have. I've done some handiwork in my day. I was like, all right. So there's like a house down here. I'm like, oh my God, when we were passing it yesterday, I'm like, I just roofed that house like last week or the week before. He's like, really? I'm like, work slow. What do you want me to do? I got bills to pay. I'd work at Blockbuster, but come on. By the way, Mrs. Topper, the owner of the Quick Stop, which we'll eventually get to, she is taking applications. She's looking for a morning person and an evening person. So if you want to really fulfill your life playing the role of Dante, now's your opportunity. I mean, everybody here, if you only just did a week for 1 year, that would cover her whole schedule. There's 52 weeks right there. There's 55 people on the bus. And they're an equal opportunity employer. Well, we're going to have a close-up look at this Thunderbird. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, let's hear it for Mike, everyone. Here it is, folks, on the right. Dante's external. Also, the wonderful home of the Hastacks. Everybody wave! Hi, Miss Hastack! It's their home, too. That's what the funny thing about it is. Man, that's all I have to say about that. This is just like so funny. You guys are gonna get back with your film, it's gonna be like big glares of glass. So I suggest using a slower aperture, or whatever that thing is, and no flash. Especially on a lovely day like today. Why don't you go and ring the bell and get the Hastacks out, huh? There's that Johnson kid, he stole his money. Get up! Alright, we're gonna roll, folks. So you can, yeah, really. Yeah, exactly. We're now going to be soon passing the house of lovely Kim Loughran. And, oh, right. We're now going to head actually to Poston's funeral parlor, which when we drove by yesterday, there was actually a funeral going on. And I was saying, right, well, Mike, if you, when you see the film, buddy, you're going to see a wonderful little trick we pulled on that funeral home. Which we actually would have wanted to shoot us the actual scene that's later on described of tipping the body over, but they weren't too keen about that. They thought they may lose business. And I'm thinking, people are going to die. They're going to need a place to wake them. So anyway, I was suggesting to Kevin, I said, you know, maybe what we could do, there's an actual funeral going on. See if we can, like, encourage, like, some people to get the balls to run in there and tip a body over. Come on! You can go, we actually did. We went out there and actually tipped the body over. It was great. People were crying. It was the best thing. So then what did you do after they bailed you out? Well, it's a cool thing to say at beer keg parties. I tipped a body over, dude. Really? No, man, serious. I have a criminal record to prove it. Also, the wonderful Ed Hapstack, whose house we just passed. If you didn't know it, you now do. He played the long-haired woman in that scene when the family runs out chasing us after we jump in the car. We weren't the most female adept people at the time when shooting. Right, exactly. He had his mom's jacket on, no less, so he's broader than his mom, obviously. Yeah, there is an actual funeral going on, and we're going to stop and go, look, hey! Mrs. So-and-so, we're actually all really good friends of your husband. Oh, there's a woman in there. Oh, we were also great fans of hers, too. Yes, we're all his lovers. We're proud, we're here, get used to it. So here it is, folks, on the left.
Oh, shoot. And we have all these video cameras.
All right. Good morning, Father. How are you? This is the place, folks, literally. You thought we were joking. Do we have any shame?
That's great.
That's the place. Could you imagine what that driver's gonna say? This whole busload of people just started coming by and laughing. They were laughing!
Hey, we didn't stop that time.
And taking pictures. They were taking pictures. And wonderful Brian added, and they're not Japanese. Always the good guy. I hope that funeral ends soon. I don't want to be going through 6 times of, the poor. I know, it's probably like what time is it now? It's probably like a 9 o'clock viewing, a 3 o'clock viewing, and then there's going to be like a 7 o'clock viewing. And these buses just keep coming rolling by. What's going on? Now we're in wonderful Atlantic Island, ladies and gentlemen. A wonderful little shore community that got flooded and helped Kevin. Well, actually, that's Highlands. I got him the money from FEMA. I just got done a week of I'm doing set designs for a theater. That red awning down there, the First Avenue Playhouse. That's also the place where they held the auditions for Clerks, the actual auditions for extras. Kevin had already cast the 6 main characters with his friends and stuff, and then he held auditions for the extras. And so I was doing work out of there, which I'm still doing work out of at time. Right now I'm doing set design because that's the only paying gig in there, is being the set designer. They were auditioning for extras, and the owner of the place said, Brian, come on down. These guys in a month are doing this film of some sort, and they're looking for extras. So I was like, all right. The month went by, and I get a phone call, and it's the owner going, Brian, I didn't see you last night. Are you not coming down? I'm like, oh, I totally forgot. So he had 2 or 3 days of auditions anyway. So I went down the second day and did my audition, which they're going to be playing the audition tape. I just found this out this morning. I was like, why are you doing this to me? To Kevin. He's like, well, you reminded of me yesterday. I was like, I've grown since then. Anyway, they had auditioned for extras, and I auditioned as an extra originally. He had already cast the role with, what's Ernie's last name? Ernie O'Donnell, who eventually ended up playing the muscle guy who was telling me I was out of shape in Clerks. He was supposed to be he was the man who would be Dante, but he never kept in touch with Kevin afterwards. So Kevin had cast me because he had really enjoyed my audition. Because I did an audition where I played an evil character, Mr. Road from Wait Until Dark. Just recently on Broadway, Quentin Tarantino played the part. So he said, oh, if this guy can do an evil killer, I'm sure he can play a sappy clerk. Now, I had no idea what the script was about, what it was even called, and everything. So he then eventually gave me sides to the screenplay and had me read little sections of it. And he was like, what do you think? I was like, oh, it's pretty funny. The other guy is really funny, but it's pretty cool. I was like, so who is he in the film? He was like, oh, well, he's the clerk. I'm like, no, really, quit pulling my dick. Really, who is he? He's like, no, he's the clerk. Do you want to do it? I was like, yeah, definitely want to do it. And so that night I took the script home and read it and literally laughed my ass off. Until I got to the ending, the original ending, where I get shot and killed, in which I was totally just hated it. I was like, I don't want to do that.
There it is.
No, definitely not. Well, here we are, the wonderful world of the Quick Stop Groceries and RST Video. We're going to be disembarking here, so Mrs. Topper will most likely be behind the counter, so give her all your greatest courtesies. Buy yourself a bottle of Gatorade or Yoo-Hoo or any of the wonderful other props. And I'm sure if you search the shelves towards the back of anything, I'm sure there's food still there from the actual filming.
Hey.
Clerks Christmas special film.
No.
Oh, it's hilarious. There's the middle door.
Did you get that one, Clive?
Yeah.
A submission school, which is for dogs. Just to show you that. It's not for people, so don't get your fetishes out here. So that's what this whole facade was just incredibly too familiar. Every day for 21 days we shot here. And the wonderful roof on top, which I was telling Mrs. Topper, she can make a bundle if she put a ladder out front and have people go up, but the lawsuits would be crazy if someone fell. As a matter of fact, just only recently the landlord put this wooden barrier in the front, because literally 3 times, or 2 or 3 times, someone had gone so far with their car that they crashed through the window. So they finally decided, gee, I think we should put a barrier up. That's all the original stuff, the original signs and everything. Like I said, someplace the original food. So, I'd say we come in from the cold, buy some stuff. What do you think?
All right.
Yeah. RSC video is not open until 1 o'clock. Sure.
Wow, they got rid of the newsstand.
Hey, chubby bitch.
These coolers.
Something appropriate about that.
The eggs. Yeah, I guess that's where the dead body is.
Smashing the eggs. Probably. Probably pretty
me.
normal.
Oh, yeah?
Kevin Smith worked here. This is how they filmed it.
Yeah, right.
I didn't realize that. And then they actually
Now,
stopped
could
shooting
you
at 6
believe I
a.m.
spent, you know, trying to film, like, and none of these shelves are really movable. So we were this cramped in filming. What are you doing? Yeah, that's right. You did your job. Yeah, I know. You did. I can't cover today. I'm not even supposed to be here today. So over there are the famous snack cakes. This is the famous freezer at the end where I'm just so goddamn sick of life. That's laid right here all this time. And he did his famous Tostitos Jaws thing. And I'm telling you, man, I bet you can check some of the dates of these things are at least 1993. And then the best thing about this whole place, as Brian pointed out to me yesterday, was the best porn you can buy in New Jersey. Like, that whole rack is like solid. In between takes was the best little reading material going on. Everything here is pretty much original to what we had. I mean, there's the freezer door back there where Caitlin eventually went back and had to go to use the bathroom and found out that there was more than just toilet paper in there. And that light is the light right above here that didn't work when the guy with the fluorescent tube glass story, who actually then eventually died. And it's funny, I came here yesterday, I was like, that light still doesn't work. You think they would fix it? It was literally pointed out in the movie that it doesn't work. And as you can see, they're setting up for Sunday morning papers, which on the weekends when we were shooting, would then help Kevin make the papers, because somebody had asked me, you know, did they just let you use the studio? She didn't realize that Kevin actually worked here. He actually would work here from all day, sometimes 12-hour shift. And so what we would do is the store would close at 11 o'clock, I believe, or 10:30. And then we would film from like 10:30 at night till approximately 6 in the morning when this store opened up. So we had to get all the equipment out of the way, move it over to RST Video, because as you can see it doesn't open till 1. At the time it was 11. Move all the equipment in there, and then sometimes even sleep in there, like whoever had a shift to sleep would go and sleep on the lovely concrete floor in there. And then we would move it all back in here at 10:30. But he literally then jumped behind the counter and worked the counter. And, you know, the best thing about this was that the catering was pretty much whatever you were in the mood for. Like this microwave over here is the original microwave that brewed burrito, which eventually we effectively had burritos late at night. especially in such a confined place. The other thing that people don't know is you can hear the hum in here, the loud hum of all these freezers. We literally every time had to turn off every freezer, and the lights would hum too. That's another reason why it was filmed in black and white. People said, "Why'd you film in black and white, man?" It's because in color, fluorescent lights make everybody look yellow and green. So we would have to then purchase a lighting package, which is very expensive with the budget that they didn't have to begin with. So we would literally have to turn off the lights. We rigged up what few lights we had behind the counter to hit on me or hit on whatever the customer. And if you literally watch the film, it is pretty much a master shot the entire time. There's rarely any movement. There is coverage at times, but there's never like a nice sweep across the store. Because you literally would have to cover the whole section. There was the one dolly shot where the whole snack cake Star Wars conversation walking up this aisle happened and came up. That was the lovely dolly shot, which I don't even know if we had a dolly. I think we had like someone's go-kart or something. But then there's the one with the little candy rack that we destroyed during that scene, with the little fight scene, and Lenin's tomb, the cat who lovely took a dump on that lovely counter, which the Dr. Pepper is now sitting on. There you go. Finger looking good. And everybody asks, well, how did that happen? How did you get a cat to shit on cue? It's amazing what you'll do when you do not have a cat have access to a litter box. They're very clean in that sense. They won't just shit anywhere. So we locked it in a bathroom or something like that for that long, and eventually we let it out, and it was the first thing it did was woohoo! Right on cue. Took a shit right there. Eventually that cat, we found out later on, was poisoned by somebody and died. So Lenin's tomb really is in Lenin's tomb. It was Vince Pereira's cat. He really freaked out the fact that someone would poison his cat and had like a manhunt as to track down the person and whatnot. What else about the lovely store? Oh! Because the lights would be on while we were filming, the never-ending troop of late-night, stoned, munchy-driven, drunk customers would come in and like, the door would be open and it's like, hey man, can I help you? And I was literally working the store at that point. Pack of cigarettes, pack of Marlboro. Hey, what's going on here? Shooting a video? And Kevin freaks out at that term, video, because it's a film, you know. Film! Damn it, it's not a music video. He's like, when are we going to see this video on MTV, man? So this one guy would come in, never ending, non-stop, like on cue every night. Finally went, can we have someone outside so when what's the name comes to buy a cigarette, someone can stop him. And it was just bizarre being here late at night. I mean, cops would come by going, and eventually they got the cue that we were shooting something. But it was weird. When we first started shooting, we had about maybe 25 to 30 people helping us, film. And then they realized what film is really like, which stop, cut, set up again, move around, stop, cut, do it again. They found out the repetition and slow-ass movement of the film. That by the next 2 or 3 days, 25 went down to like 10 went down to like 8, until finally came down to pretty much the 4, which was Kevin, Scott Mosier, David Klein, DP, Ed Habstack, who helped us out in the beginning, and he dropped off from his here, then came back, who helped us holding the boom, because if you notice the credits, the boom operator is anybody who held the stick, pretty much. That's what we put in the credits. And then myself and Jeff, of course, in the counter, and then the various customers. And that was pretty much it. 3 guys worked in the actual filming of it, and the rest was just whoever was in the cast. And pretty much that's all we had room in here to do. But it was funny that it would start out to be a huge, huge amount of people, and then down to nobody. So that's the little quick stop, little tour of the store. Unfortunately, like we said, the video store is closed, kind of like in the film, so you're getting a piece of the frustration of those customers. So, take your final selections up to the register for purchase, and they'll be getting back on the bus.
I am. No, I was going to walk. It's actually working. When I stopped.
It was funny, we were in here yesterday, and Kim was like, oh, we have a register that used to be here. And it broke, but they still have it at like the other store or something that they own. So Kevin wants to purchase the register. Oh, no. Like just the other day, just yesterday too, we were in the video store, and you know the sign that was over, brand new movies. Movies here, all brand new, just came in this morning. It still was up there on their brand new movie section. So Kevin's like, I'm taking that. So now when you get to the new store, you'll see his videotape section towards the back of the store has the new brand new movies poster up to it. And we asked the girl behind the counter, she was like, yeah, people have come, a lot of people come here on their own personal little tour going, oh my God. And it's funny, Mrs. Topper saying, you know them immediately because they're the first one going, and if you look at the place, it's not a place you come in to go, wow. But the girl said she was offered $25 for that poster. And so Kevin's like, here, and he gave her money for the poster. So I was like, you were good for not, because she denied it. She's like, no, don't. And some guy's like, well, just tell them I'll run in here and rip it off, off the wall. And no one ever did, thank God. But so it's now in Kevin's store. He's also thinking about purchasing the RST Video actual sign out front and replacing it with a new one for them.
Want to sell cigarettes to a 4-year-old?
Yeah, really. No more. That was actually, I forget whose cousin. That was Vince's niece or nephew. Alrighty. Anybody need a pack of cigarettes anyway? That's why we changed it to cigarettes after that whole cigarette guy tirade. To actually use a name brand would have been a huge lawsuit. So that's why when people came in, they just said pack of cigarettes. Because everybody's like, well, what brand was it? Don't know. It's basic, whatever that brand. GCPC. There you go. Alrighty?
Alrighty.
Alright, we're gonna move out to the bus.
Hey, I'm not complimenting, let me.
Hey, Johnson!
I clicked and like nothing happened.
Yeah, alright.
We have a key to the door.
Only people in it, so make it easier.
Go in the locks.
Alright.
Yeah. There you go, folks. This is the lovely video store.
No lights on.
No idea where the lights are. Okay, where is it?
Right here. Right here. Oh, okay, there you go. Thanks.
I know, right?
So this is the wonderful little RST video, where the attendant told us people just love to just come up here and lie on the counter like this. Watch video.
Hell yeah, baby.
You can see this store is pretty much, I mean, it's funny because not that many people come here to rent because of Blockbuster and all that, yet the latest tapes are always available because barely anybody gets here to rent. But it's kind of, but what this has that Blockbuster done is like this huge, see all these A's?
Hold it. I need to get it.
That's adult. And you notice it's the closest thing. So you know what this neighborhood buys the most here of. It's the adult section, which is a little room door right there in the middle with a lovely little, I think, Fievel saying welcome to my porn room or something. Oh, no, Alvin, excuse me. Welcome to the RST Video Porn Room. Please close the door. Once inside, all titles are 2 for $2.65. Feel free to browse. Ask about our adult titles for sale. Remember, porn is cool. Must be 18 to enjoy an adult title. Bring box to counter. And then I just found out yesterday that there has been many a shagging in that room during off hours. And it's funny because a movie collector would have a field day in this place because there are some titles here that are just out of print now that you just can't find anymore. Here, let some people who are outside in. Move in a little more and shuffle in more. I don't know. We don't know that either because I asked that to Kevin and he's like, I have no idea what that is. Someone pressed it out. It's injection molded. So literally someone made a mold of this. Some type of shop class. But it's so funny that this whole place does the best business in adult because no one else does adult video. Alright, we're gonna go now. I've been given the wrap it up on this one. And if you notice, they sell so many of the lovely video appliances to the point where the plastic covering them is yellowing. So we literally slept on this lovely concrete floor in between days at times, because I didn't feel like driving all the way back up to New Brunswick at times.
Right. My battery's dead.
And of, like Simpsonian type of stuff, you know. I heard this. He gave me the synopsis of the first couple episodes. There's some pretty hysterical stuff. I mean, so I don't think you'll be disappointed that much. I mean, it would be nice to have been on like Comedy Central and be able to say "mother bleep" and "goddamn bleep," you know. But this is ABC. Plus, also, you know, Miramax owns the rights to Clerks, and so thus Miramax is owned by Disney, and Disney owns ABC. So that's how that chain of command pretty much went. Even though UPN had committed for like a lot more episodes to begin with, but they're UPN. Up. Yeah, baby. Pulling people over. You got it. Did that get cut out of the movie? Another part that got cut out of the movie. There's so much that gets cut out of his film. No, that's in there.
That was in it.
Right, at the end where Ben talks to Jason and Kevin, and they gave him the bit of wisdom of the literally how they got the Chasing Amy title when Silent Bob tells about chasing Amy, and also wanting to be a showgirl. Here's a wonderful story why we're not going to be stopping and going in there. The owner of the place really started being a dick after we paid them like a lot of money to use this. Like we paid like a couple of $100 to each waitress, and they didn't even decide to close the place down. Half the place was still open, and like they were serving dinner. Meanwhile, we're like, shut up, stop clicking your forks. We're trying to shoot something here, even though they thought they had arranged that they had the whole place themselves. Oh yeah, plus the missing chair, the broken chair. He keeps, there's a chair broken. Dude, we're making your diner famous. Oh, your chair, you're breaking my chair. But the diner guy is like, hey, when are we going to get a picture and a plaque of the whole thing? People come here all the time asking for that specific booth and everything. Yeah, now he's saying that. It was funny because Kevin's like, well, we paid him with the fuck you money. We gave him enough fuck you money to say, hey, dude, fuck you. It's a broken chair. We paid you enough to rent out the place. Plus, it's not like you're booming with business. So otherwise we would have stopped in there. Plus the other thing is like, well, what if people actually start getting hungry in the day and like wanted to order? We'll be here for like 3 hours just eating. And Randall take when on the way to the funeral, and we're talking about sucking each of your own dick. And that's the only scene, if you watched, I'm wearing my glasses. Yes, I have a very bad eyesight. And we were shooting, it was one of these mornings where I had put my contacts in solution, which, if anybody knows, takes like 6 hours to clean and all that jazz. And so we were shooting that scene early the next morning, and we were sleeping on the floor of the RCT video place. So I got up and my contacts weren't ready, so I wore my glasses. So from that point on, it established that Dante wears driving glasses. And I was like, lovely. That's cool. So once we get to make this left, we will be on that bit of road. Which, it was pretty funny. It was just me, Kevin, Dave Klein, who had a camera pretty much on his shoulder, like scrunched in the back seat, and Jeff. And I'm like driving, like, because if we drove too quickly, the camera would shake too much. So we were driving like 15 miles an hour, and I think this road is like 45. And we were lucky we got it up early enough where no one was behind us. Going, what the fuck? Move your lazy ass! That was me, yeah, that was me that morning. So, any questions? We're going to open this up now to a Q&A because after this part of it, it's just straight back to Red Bank.
Is there going to be a Clerks too?
Is there going to be a Clerks too? They are in discussion, but it's wait to see how Dogma does. But then, huh? Can you have you? Brian's being a comedian. It's like he's thinking somebody's going to go, "Got my money back. Story sucked." I was telling Bryce, like, hey man, what's gonna happen? I told him, man, it's gonna be the Krusty the Clown tour after the 6th tour. I was like, all right, you fucking kids. These are the places we're going. Enjoy. Who's got a bottle of scotch? Okay. I was about to say, you motherfuckers must know, like, your Clerks trivia where you don't have to ask any questions of any sort. Dogma is, maybe I'll give you bits of information that I know of things. Dogma is going to be submitted to Cannes Film Festival in competition, so that's what they're waiting for then, and that comes up next month. And they're literally today shooting insert shots, so Linda Fiorentina will be in the area. I think she may stop at the store, I'm not sure, to do some insert shots today. And then that's it, and then they start, I mean, it's really pretty much edited now, and they've done test screenings, and if you've been on the website, you've heard the reviews of the test screenings and stuff. I mean, I think it started out being like 3 hours and 15 minutes, and it's now 2 and like 25, I believe, right now. But it's all quality, baby. All good. I'd seen it on, I seen it, a couple of stuff yesterday on it, and it looks sweet. It really looks sweet.
Is there going to be another screening of that?
Another test screening of the Dogma? I assume so. They were holding, if anybody is in the Philly area, they were holding them down in Philly recently, and it was like 3 screenings totaling about 500 people in total. So it just looks so amazing, and it sounds really great. The guy who's doing the soundtrack to it is the guy who's done Silence of the Lambs, 7. What other things he did? Scott Mosier was telling me about. Silence of the Lambs, 2. All those dark movies. Yeah, this is the actual road now from like this point on that we actually drove, because we would pass this school all the time, the Bayshore Middle School. This is where the discussion happened.
What have you been doing?
What have I been doing? I did a film with Ali Sheedy 2 Januaries ago called Groupies. It's an independent film. It's a road movie about these 4 child actors who pretty much had a show pretty much like the Power Rangers. And it's 10 years later, and the show got canceled and stuff. And these 2 groupies who want to bring the show back kidnap the 4 actors who are now older now and try to shoot the shows again. And it's myself, Justin Henry, who is the young boy in Kramer versus Kramer, who's now obviously older. Ali Sheedy and another gentleman, Jason Frank, who literally is the White Power Ranger. And he was like, I love this script because I hate that fucking show. I mean, don't get me wrong, I paid a nice check, but I hated it. And so we shot that, and it's in like cleanup, because they're tightening that up and trying to submit that as well to film festivals and to show it to other distributors of independent films. Then Vulgar, of course. I've been doing a lot of stage work. That's where I pretty much came from, is stage. And I'm reestablishing I go out every January out to California to do pilot season, and this year I did. So I'm getting things together to go back out there again. Pretty much what I've been doing.
How about like Vulgar? That's gonna make it to distributor or like.
Well, it's gonna go to Telluride, the Telluride Film Festival, and I think South by Southwest. Toronto, the Toronto Film Festival, and then seeking distribution from there. And that's another thing I saw yesterday. The bits I saw yesterday, it looks great, and Scott Mosier is working on it, and it's been Brian actually has been really patient, because I mean we shot it last summer, and it's just Scott says it needs time, it needs some cleanup work with here and there, and he wants to get the right person to compose music to it and everything. So once that's out, I'm really proud of that work. And I think Brian should be too proud of his work, because it's a 6 script, but it's shot so beautifully, and it reads so well. The rating? A hard R. I mean, I doubt it would get NC-17. What do you think? Nah, I doubt it. Nah, I don't think it'll be. I think it'll be an R.
Yeah. Any news on Big Helium Dog yet?
Big helium dog, I personally don't know about. I will ask, or you can ask at the store. Walt would know about that, I guess, or Kevin himself would know about that. Vince Pereira may know about that too. Vince, what's the name of his film? A Better Place just got video distribution from on DVD, no less. What company? Somehow. So look for it in your video stores soon. So he's all psyched, and he's working on a new script now, which I heard was pretty good.
Is this the story where they got raped?
That Kim Lockwood read said it was really dark, really like Seven-esque. Nice suspense thriller. What else? Anything else? God, that's funny as hell. You know, I was wearing a goatee. I actually was wearing a goatee for Wait Until Dark. What was I shooting? What was I doing at that time? I was doing some script where I needed the goatee. And so when we came in for like the week before shooting, he's like, shave it off. I was like, okay. I shaved it off. I came in then the next day, he's like, oh, how fast can you grow that back? I'm like, hey, what are you saying? He's like, well, no, it makes you look way too young with it shaved off. I was like, oh, all right. You're just saying it's covering my chin, aren't you? Bastards. And I grew it back now because I was playing a 68-year-old English detective, which I had to whiten this up and whiten my hair. All that type of stuff. The tour gets Mike the driver's approval, everyone. Easy to drive. Mike, we're going to have that on the website with the reviews of the tour. Bus driver says, excellent steering capacity. You had a question?
Okay, if they did make the toy adult-oriented, what would you want it to look like?
What does adult-oriented mean there? I'm getting confused.
Just how,
Is it like
they
Anatomically
did,
Correct?
like...
Like a Boogie Nights toy? What the fuck?
No, like they did a meat bag with Jay or...
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, and now I see what you're saying. Gee, what would I have them do? I don't know. A porn mag in my hand. Who knows? The dog of shit that Haiku left in my apartment! That dog died, you know? I gotta ask him that. Whatever happened to that damn dog? Haiku. Oh, how cute. Here's a fucking haiku about your dog. Your dog. It's shit on my house. I don't even know how to do it. I don't even know what the meter is. It's like 575, but whatever the fuck it is. Your dog. It sucks. I hope it dies. I mean, just the poor animals. It's funny. How dare they put that little release in the film? No animals were harmed during this filming. Yeah, but what about my rug? What about my damn jacket? Yeah, exactly. I was being held back. Any other questions? Looking forward to Dogma? Yeah. You damn well better be. No, seriously, this should be really, really good. And I think what Bob Weinstein and Harvey Weinstein are going to love is that the fact that the Catholic Church is going to go absolutely nuts and protest this out the ass, and which means it's going to have free publicity, and that's the best thing he loves. I have to pay for nothing. Please don't send that over to him if anybody has that on videotape. It's very, very controversial. You're saying isn't that bad? It's not bad, meaning bad, but it gets you thinking. I mean, there's different points of view. No, think? Catholic Church wants you to think? I'm going to lose my Altar Boy of the Year award. I do have 3 of them, don't you laugh. The public school end of things, too. That's how my Catholic Church did it. They were the Altar Boys who were part of the schooling in the Catholic school, and then there were the public school Altar Boys. Yeah, the CCD kids. Oh, there they go. Get your groove on, buddy. And so, yeah, exactly. Brian Johnson's like, it's time to point out weird-looking people again out there. Hey, you!
Get off of my credit.
I'm not fat, I'm being boned. That would be funny. I would love to see like a huge like Laugh Olympics type of thing of all the cartoons out there. Remember Laugh Olympics?
I love it.
Isn't that great?
Hanna-Barbera.
It's just like, the amalgamation of all your favorite cartoons together. I'd love to see like The Simpsons meet like King of the Hill / Butthead / South Park, The Critic. That's one show that I can't believe Fox canceled. I loved The Critic. I mean, if you're a huge film fan, there were so many insider jokes that you don't really have to be like a huge film fan. I mean, but if you just paid attention to just Entertainment Weekly or Entertainment Tonight, there was just hysterical references. And I mean, I think they only got out like, what was it, 22 episodes maybe, I think, finally?
23.
And I knew a few people who actually worked on the show and everything.
Broccoli.
And I was just like, ah. And John Lovitz is just hysterical as the character. And anything he does, he's just great. Like, I don't know if locally here, he's doing the phone book ads. Like, they have this campaign where he's the author of the phone book. And he starts going, my favorite chapters are C, candy, D, donuts, P, pizza. There are some people I would love to work with, like a John Lovitz type of person, and some other great comedians out there. Any other questions or any other comments? How'd you like the tour?
It's all right.
Oh, it's fun.
Cool. Broken through. I'm ready for Universal Studios. And over here, Jaws is gonna pop out of its mouth. This Jaws was in the film called Mallrats, where T.S. wanted to marry 5 months ago. So Caitlin did marry Randall. And if you watch it closely, when she goes to the bathroom after and he's watching the store for me and I'm pretty much out getting dressed for the date, he's looking at her ass hard. He was just like, Little did I know that was actually really going on.
Do they know each other?
No, they didn't know each other previously either, so Kevin not only put them in films, but introduced them to their loves of their lives. And now they both hate Kevin. Thank you, Brian. And then it's so funny, too, because I was in Kevin's office yesterday, and Marilyn Gigliotti, who played Veronica, just so happened to call at the same time. So what a coinkydink, huh? She's out in L.A. as well. She's working on a couple of independent films out there, too. He just wants to get me so much in trouble, Brian, because he could care less.
What's this?
No, it's not. Shut up. Turn that camera off and maybe I'll talk. Clerks was printed. I mean, he was pointing these
Sounds
out
good, we're
yesterday, and I
doing
was
this
just
one.
like, uh-huh. Yeah, you made photocopies there. This is where I bought my condoms. Thanks, Kev. Oh, You got that on film?
What'd he say?
He could say that he literally lives with them, so I'll let him kick his own ass out of the house. Are they married? No, they're living in sin. As my mother would say. Well, let me say it the way she would say it. They're living in sin. She's Irish. Very Irish. As a matter of fact, my whole family is born there except myself. I have 2 older brothers, which made me what I was. Oh man, is someone comping our parking spot? Let's block up the fire department, who cares? Burn, baby, burn. All right, folks, now welcome to the stash. And when you see this place, it's amazing. It was decorated by Ratso Holtzman, who's done all the art decoration in both his films. And I couldn't believe when I walked in there. It was just amazing. It's so vulgar, it's funny. All right, folks.
So, that is the end of the tour. That's the stats. Not allowed to have the camera running in there. So,